The starship Horizon Seeker drifted silently at the edge of the solar system, its advanced sensor arrays probing the blue-green planet that filled the primary view screen. Navigator Krell adjusted the quantum resonance filters, trying to make sense of the impossibly complex data streaming before him. Earth defied every standard classification in the Astral Concordance's extensive sinological database. Most developing civilizations followed predictable patterns. Technological advancement typically occurred in linear, measurable stages. Humanity seemed to deliberately ignore such conventions. Digital communication networks blanketed the planet like a living, breathing organism. Satellites danced in precise orbital configurations that suggested both mathematical precision and artistic intention. Every transmission, every signal carried layers of complexity that challenged the most sophisticated decryption algorithms. Krell had surveyed over 200 planetary systems during his career. He recognized the signs of a civilization on the brink of a technological breakthrough, but this was different. Humans weren't just developing technology. They were reimagining the very concept of technological progress. The ship's linguistic analysis systems worked overtime, deciphering massive streams of information. Unlike most developing species that communicated through limited, structured protocols, human communication was a chaotic symphony. Multiple languages, cultural nuances, scientific discussions, artistic expressions, and personal interactions blended into an intricate tapestry of global dialogue. Most intriguing were the rapid technological developments occurring simultaneously across multiple domains. While one research facility explored quantum computing, another developed sustainable energy solutions. Medical researchers collaborated across continents, sharing information at speeds that would have been impossible for most species. Engineering teams appeared to be solving complex problems through unprecedented levels of collaborative creativity. The planetary defense systems particularly captured Krell's attention. Subtle but effective networks of satellites, ground-based sensors, and interconnected communication systems created a planetary shield that was more sophisticated than many fully developed civilizations. It wasn't just about military potential. This was a holistic approach to planetary security that integrated technological, environmental, and social considerations. Historical records revealed a species that had survived multiple near-extinction events. Climate challenges, global conflicts, technological disruptions. Humanity seemed to transform adversity into opportunity with remarkable consistency. Where other civilizations might have collapsed, humans adapted, innovated, and evolved. The quantum data streams revealed something even more remarkable. Humanity was not a monolithic entity, but a complex system of diverse cultures, ideas, and perspectives. Yet beneath this apparent chaos, a remarkable unity of purpose emerged during critical moments. Their ability to mobilize collective intelligence was unprecedented. Quantum communication analysis showed something truly extraordinary. Unlike most species that relied on centralized information systems, humans had developed a decentralized network of knowledge exchange. Individual nodes of information could be destroyed without compromising the entire system. Each person seemed to be both a repository and a creator of knowledge. The ship's xenobiological scanners detected another unique characteristic. Human genetic structures displayed an unusual level of adaptability. Their biological systems seemed designed for continuous adaptation, with complex mechanisms for learning and transformation that went beyond simple genetic inheritance. Krell realized this was more than a routine planetary survey. Humanity represented something entirely new, a species that didn't just adapt to its environment, but actively reshaped it. Their potential was not just technological or biological, but fundamentally transformative. As the Horizon Seeker completed its initial survey, a message from the Central Command flickered onto the communication console. Standard protocol suggested a classification recommendation. Most developing civilizations were rated on a predictable scale of technological and social development. But humanity defied classification. Krell's fingers hovered over the console. How could he describe a civilization that seemed to exist between categories? A species that was simultaneously primitive and advanced, chaotic and organized, diverse and unified. The final report would require something entirely new. Not just a classification, but a declaration of potential. Humanity was not just another entry in the galactic catalog. They were a question waiting to be understood, a potential waiting to be realized. Something extraordinary was emerging on this small blue planet, and the galaxy was about to take notice. The first wave of Concordance warships breached Earth's outer atmosphere with calculated precision. Massive crystalline hulls glimmered against the pale blue sky, their advanced sensor arrays probing the planet's surface with ruthless efficiency. Commander Velix, a veteran of over 30 planetary acquisitions, expected the typical sequence of events: initial resistance, rapid capitulation, and then systematic resource extraction. Earth's response shattered every expectation. Milliseconds after detection, a global network of defense systems activated. It wasn't a single unified military response, but a complex, adaptive system that seemed to think and breathe as a single organism. Satellite networks reconfigured with mathematical precision. Ground-based systems came online, their capabilities far beyond what the invasion models had predicted. Military installations around the globe moved with a synchronicity that defied traditional tactical understanding. In the United States, aerospace defense centers worked in perfect harmony with communication networks in Japan, while European research facilities provided real-time technological adaptations. Each region contributed unique capabilities, creating a planetary defense grid that was simultaneously decentralized and interconnected. The first wave of Concordance assault drones encountered something unprecedented. Instead of predictable defensive patterns, they faced a dynamic response that seemed to anticipate their every move. Electronic warfare systems didn't just block communications. They studied, adapted, and began to predict future attack vectors. Ground-based defense platforms utilized a combination of advanced technology and ingenious tactical positioning. Mountain ranges became natural fortresses. Coastal regions deployed sophisticated electromagnetic disruption fields. Urban centers transformed into complex defensive networks, with civilian infrastructure seamlessly integrated into the planetary defense strategy. Velix watched in growing disbelief as his initial assault force encountered multiple layers of resistance. Jamming attempts were not just blocked but reflected back with enhanced complexity. Targeting systems found themselves caught in intricate webs of misdirection, with false signals and adaptive camouflage technologies that seemed to rewrite the fundamental rules of engagement. The most shocking element was the human response itself. Communication channels intercepted by the Concordance revealed no panic, no fear. Instead, there was a calm, almost collaborative approach to planetary defense. Scientific teams were already analyzing captured technological fragments. Military strategists discussed potential countermeasures with the same tone one might use in a routine planning meeting. Orbital defense platforms proved particularly challenging. Constructed from a combination of advanced materials and ingenious design, they moved with a fluidity that suggested near-sentient capabilities. Each platform seemed to communicate and adapt in real time, creating a dynamic shield that was more than the sum of its individual components. Civilian infrastructure played an unexpected role. Transportation networks became alternative communication channels. Power grids reconfigured themselves to support defense systems. Even educational institutions began rapid research initiatives focused on understanding and countering the alien technology. The Concordance had invasion protocols for every conceivable scenario. Technologically advanced civilizations typically had predictable defensive strategies. Some relied on massive weapon systems. Others depended on complex shield technologies. A few attempted diplomatic negotiations. Humanity did something entirely different. They treated the invasion as a complex, multi-layered problem to be solved. Each attempted Concordance approach was met with a response that was simultaneously defensive and investigative. It was as if the entire planet was a massive living research project. Quantum communication networks became a battlefield of information. where the Concordants expected to find vulnerabilities, they encountered adaptive systems that seemed to learn and evolve with each interaction. Attack vectors were not just blocked but studied, analyzed, and transformed into potential defensive technologies. By the 12th hour of the initial invasion attempt, Commander Velix realized something fundamental had changed. This was no longer a standard planetary acquisition. This was a first contact scenario that would rewrite every existing galactic protocol. The Concordance invasion fleet found itself in an unprecedented situation. They were no longer the aggressors. They had become the subjects of a planetary-scale analysis, a civilization studying its first true extraterrestrial interaction. Earth wasn't just defending itself. It was learning, adapting, and preparing for something far beyond a simple military confrontation. As the first wave of ships began tactical retreat, a single transmission emerged from the planetary defense network. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a declaration of war. It was an invitation to communicate, to understand, to explore the possibilities of mutual interaction. The galaxy would never be the same. The captured alien technology arrived at the Global Collaborative Research Center in Switzerland through a network of secure transport channels. Within hours, research teams from 6 continents had established a virtual collaboration platform, their combined expertise focused on a single goal: understanding and adapting the extraterrestrial technology. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a quantum physics specialist, stood beside Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, a materials engineering expert, as they examined the first fragment of Concordance technology. The alien device defied conventional understanding. A crystalline structure that seemed to pulse with an internal energy signature unlike anything in human scientific records. What made the human approach unique was not just their scientific methodology, but their holistic perspective. Where most species would approach alien technology with rigid, specialized research protocols, these scientists saw a puzzle to be solved from multiple dimensions simultaneously. Computer scientists began mapping the device's quantum communication matrix. Materials engineers analyzed its structural composition. Quantum physicists studied its energy transmission capabilities. Linguists and communication experts attempted to decipher its underlying informational architecture. Each team approached the technology from their unique perspective, yet maintained a collaborative framework that allowed instantaneous information sharing. Within 72 hours, the first breakthrough emerged. The alien communication systems, which the Concordants believed to be unhackable, revealed fundamental vulnerabilities. Not through brute force decryption, but through a novel approach that reimagined the very concept of communication protocols. Research facilities around the world transformed overnight. Universities became innovation hubs. Industrial laboratories repurposed their advanced manufacturing capabilities. Even small-scale makerspaces contributed critical insights, their distributed network of creative minds working in concert with formal research institutions. The technological adaptation happened at an exponential rate. Where other civilizations might take decades to understand a single fragment of advanced technology, humans were creating preliminary adaptation prototypes within days. Each breakthrough was immediately shared across global networks, creating a collaborative research environment that accelerated innovation beyond any known scientific model. Quantum computing teams discovered something extraordinary in the alien device's energy matrix. The technology wasn't just a communication system. It was a complex, adaptive information network that could potentially revolutionize human understanding of computational processes. Traditional binary systems seemed primitive in comparison. Manufacturing facilities began rapid prototyping of adaptive technologies. 3D printing centers worked around the clock, creating experimental components that combined human ingenuity with the fundamental principles discovered in the alien technology. Each prototype was a hybrid, part human innovation, part extraterrestrial inspiration. The most remarkable aspect was the speed of adaptation. Traditional scientific research followed linear progression. Humanity's approach was cyclical, adaptive, and fundamentally collaborative. A breakthrough in one research facility would trigger cascading innovations across multiple disciplines. Aerospace engineers discovered that the alien propulsion systems operated on principles that challenged fundamental human understanding of physics. Instead of seeing this as an insurmountable obstacle, research teams began reimagining physical theories, creating new mathematical models that could explain the seemingly impossible technologies. Biomechanical research teams found extraordinary applications. The alien technology's adaptive communication matrix suggested potential breakthroughs in medical technology, neural network development, and human-machine interfaces. What began as a defensive study of alien technology was rapidly transforming into a potential revolution across multiple scientific domains. Global communication networks became living research platforms. Scientists, engineers, and researchers from every corner of the planet shared insights in real time. Language barriers dissolved as collaborative translation technologies emerged. Each contribution, no matter how small, became part of a massive interconnected problem-solving ecosystem. The Concordants had expected to find a primitive species struggling to understand their advanced technology. Instead, they discovered a civilization that didn't just understand. They were actively reimagining technological possibility. By the end of the first week, preliminary adaptation technologies began emerging. Experimental communication systems that combined human creativity with the fundamental principles of the alien technology. Prototype energy transmission devices that suggested entirely new approaches to power generation and distribution. What made humanity unique wasn't just their technological capability. It was their ability to see potential where others saw complexity. Each alien technological fragment was not just a piece of equipment to be studied, but an invitation to reimagine what was possible. The technological symphony was just beginning, and the entire galaxy was about to hear its first notes. The true strength of humanity revealed itself not through advanced technologies or military might, but through an unprecedented display of collective purpose. As the threat of the Concordance invasion loomed, something remarkable happened across the planet. A transformation that defied every extraterrestrial prediction. Community centers became coordination hubs. Schools transformed into training and research facilities. Artists created communication campaigns that bridged cultural divides. Professional athletes volunteered their strategic thinking skills to defense planning. Every segment of society found its unique role in the global response. In Tokyo, a group of game designers developed simulation models that helped military strategists understand potential invasion scenarios. Silicon Valley programmers created adaptive communication networks that could withstand massive disruption. Medical researchers in Cape Town prepared emergency response protocols that could handle unprecedented challenges. The most surprising element was the complete dissolution of traditional barriers. National boundaries became meaningless. Political differences evaporated. A retired engineer in Brazil could collaborate in real time with a young scientist in South Korea, their combined insights feeding into a global defense strategy. Social media platforms transformed from communication tools to sophisticated intelligence-sharing networks. Instead of spreading panic, they became channels of collective problem-solving. Crowdsourced intelligence gathering reached unprecedented levels of efficiency. Every citizen became a potential contributor to the planetary defense. Manufacturing facilities worldwide retooled with remarkable speed. Automobile plants converted assembly lines to produce advanced defense components. Textile manufacturers developed new protective technologies. Even small makerspaces contributed critical innovations, their distributed network of creative minds working in concert with formal research institutions. Psychological resilience became a critical defense mechanism. Instead of fear, people responded with a calm, determined focus. Mental health professionals developed community support strategies that helped maintain collective emotional stability. Stress management programs became integral to the global response, ensuring that human creativity remained sharp and adaptive. Educational institutions played a crucial role. Universities suspended traditional curricula, redirecting their entire research capabilities toward the global challenge. Students became active participants, their fresh perspectives providing unexpected solutions. Learning transformed from a passive process to an active form of planetary problem-solving. Cultural diversity emerged as a profound strength. Each cultural group brought unique perspectives to the collective challenge. Indigenous knowledge systems offered innovative approaches to resource management. Traditional problem-solving methods from various cultures provided unexpected insights into strategic planning. Communication networks developed unprecedented levels of resilience. When traditional infrastructure faced potential disruption, alternative communication methods emerged. Amateur radio operators, community networks, and innovative communication technologies ensured that information continued to flow. Humanitarian organizations expanded their roles beyond traditional support. They became critical coordination centers, managing resource distribution, providing psychological support, and ensuring that vulnerable populations remained integrated into the global response. The global response demonstrated a level of unity that surprised even the most optimistic observers. It wasn't a forced uniformity, but a complex, adaptive collaboration that celebrated individual creativity while maintaining a collective purpose. Economic systems rapidly transformed. Financial institutions redirected resources with unprecedented speed. Companies set aside competitive interests in favor of collective survival. Research funding became a global, collaborative effort that transcended traditional economic boundaries. Technological innovation merged with human creativity in ways that defied conventional understanding. Where other species might have become paralyzed by fear, humans saw an opportunity for collective growth. Each challenge became a problem to be solved, each obstacle an invitation to innovate. The Concordants had expected to find a fragmented, easily conquered civilization. Instead, they encountered a living, breathing planetary organism. Every human became a potential defender, every mind a potential source of innovation. As the first wave of potential conflict approached, humanity stood not as separate nations or individual groups, but as a unified planetary civilization. The collective human spirit had transformed a potential extinction event into an opportunity for unprecedented collaboration and growth. The galaxy was about to witness something extraordinary. A species that didn't just survive, but thrived in the face of the unknown. Something more than a defense was emerging. A new understanding of collective potential was taking shape, a testament to the remarkable power of human unity. The Global Strategic Command Center emerged from an unlikely location, a repurposed research complex nestled in the Swiss Alps. Unlike traditional military headquarters, this facility represented a radical departure from conventional warfare planning. Here, military strategists worked alongside social scientists, quantum physicists, climate experts, and cultural anthropologists. General Marcus Chen stood at the center of a holographic display that defied traditional military mapping. The strategic interface was a living, breathing ecosystem of information. Real-time data streams from satellites, ground sensors, and global communication networks created a dynamic representation of potential conflict scenarios. What set human strategic thinking apart was its fundamental approach to conflict. Where the Concordants saw warfare as a linear process of attack and defense, humans viewed it as a complex, multidimensional problem requiring continuous adaptation. Each potential scenario was not just analyzed but reimagined from multiple perspectives. The military teams developed an approach that blended technological innovation with psychological insight. Drone networks were designed not just for combat effectiveness, but with adaptive learning capabilities that could understand and respond to complex environmental and tactical changes. Each unit functioned as both an individual system and part of a larger, interconnected network. Cultural intelligence became a critical strategic asset. Teams of researchers provided deep insights into potential alien decision-making processes. Understanding the Concordants wasn't just about technological capabilities, but about comprehending their cultural motivations, communication patterns, and strategic thinking. Psychological warfare took on an entirely new dimension. Instead of traditional intimidation tactics, Human strategists developed communication strategies that could potentially de-escalate conflict while simultaneously gathering critical intelligence. Every communication became a potential opportunity for understanding and strategic advantage. Technological innovations transformed traditional military concepts. Adaptive camouflage systems could reconfigure entire defensive positions in milliseconds. Communication networks became living, breathing intelligence-gathering platforms that could reorganize themselves faster than any centralized system could track. The most remarkable aspect was the distributed nature of strategic planning. Unlike hierarchical military structures, human defense strategies emerged from a collaborative network. A submarine commander in the Pacific could contribute tactical insights that would immediately influence a defensive position in the European theater. Quantum computing platforms allowed for unprecedented scenario modeling. Millions of potential conflict scenarios were analyzed simultaneously, with each iteration feeding back into the strategic planning process. The military had become a dynamic learning system rather than a static organizational structure. Civilian expertise played a crucial role in strategic development. Urban planners provided insights into infrastructure resilience. Environmental scientists offered critical information about planetary defense capabilities. Software developers created adaptive communication protocols that could withstand extreme disruption. The traditional concept of front lines dissolved completely. Every technological system, every communication network, every piece of infrastructure became a potential defensive asset. The entire planet transformed into a complex, adaptive defense mechanism. Artificial intelligence systems developed by research teams provided unprecedented strategic analysis. But unlike traditional AI military applications, these systems were designed with critical ethical constraints and human oversight. They were tools of analysis, not autonomous decision-makers. Economic strategists became as crucial as military planners. Resource allocation, technological innovation, and strategic positioning were viewed as interconnected challenges. The global economic system transformed into a dynamic defense mechanism, with every industry potentially contributing to planetary protection. Educational institutions became critical strategic assets. Military training programs integrated advanced technological understanding with philosophical and ethical considerations. Every potential defender was trained not just in combat, but in adaptive problem-solving and cross-cultural communication. The Concordance's invasion models became obsolete within hours of first contact. Human strategic thinking existed in a realm that defied traditional military understanding. It wasn't about overwhelming force, but about continuous adaptation, creative problem-solving, and collective intelligence. As potential conflict scenarios continued to evolve, one thing became increasingly clear. This was not going to be a traditional war. This was going to be a complex, multidimensional interaction that would challenge every existing concept of conflict and resolution. The strategic brilliance of humanity lay not in its individual capabilities, but in its remarkable ability to transform challenge into opportunity. Every potential threat became an invitation to grow, to understand, to evolve. The galaxy was about to witness a fundamentally new approach to interstellar interaction. The Proxima engagement began as what the Concordance expected to be a routine planetary subjugation. Their advanced fleet, comprising over 3,000 specialized assault vessels, approached Earth's orbital perimeter with calculated confidence. What awaited them was nothing short of a complete reimagining of interstellar conflict. The first wave of Concordance attack drones encountered a defense system that defied every known military projection. Orbital platforms seemed to breathe and move with an almost living intelligence. Each defensive position was not a static installation, but a dynamic, adaptive network that could reconfigure itself faster than the alien targeting systems could calculate. Quantum communication networks transformed the entire planetary defense into a single adaptive organism. Where traditional military systems would have a clear command structure, human defenses operated more like a distributed neural network. Each defensive node could make independent decisions while simultaneously contributing to a collective strategy. Experimental technologies emerged in real time during the conflict. Adaptive camouflage systems could alter entire spacecraft configurations within milliseconds. Energy redirection technologies turned potential weapon impacts into sources of additional defensive capabilities. What should have been moments of vulnerability became opportunities for technological innovation. Commander Velix watched in growing horror as his invasion models collapsed. Human defensive strategies didn't just resist, they learned, adapted, and transformed with each incoming attack. Weapon systems that had conquered hundreds of civilizations became ineffective against a defense mechanism that seemed to think and evolve in real time. The most shocking element was the human approach to technological engagement. Instead of simply defending, they were actively studying and adapting the Concordance technology during the conflict. Captured alien systems were instantly analyzed, with preliminary adaptation prototypes emerging before the initial attack had even concluded. Satellite networks became more than communication platforms. They transformed into adaptive sensor arrays that could predict and counter invasion strategies before they fully materialized. Ground-based systems worked in perfect harmony with orbital defenses, creating a planetary shield that was simultaneously robust and fluid. Civilian technologies played unexpected roles in the defensive strategy. Communication networks became intelligence-gathering platforms. Transportation systems provided alternative communication channels. Even entertainment technologies contributed to the adaptive defense mechanisms. Psychological warfare reached unprecedented levels of sophistication. Human communication strategies didn't just block concordance transmissions, they used them as opportunities for deep intelligence gathering. Every intercepted signal became a chance to understand the invading civilization at a fundamental level. The conflict challenged every existing concept of warfare. Traditional military engagement relied on overwhelming force and predictable strategies. Humanity approached the invasion as a complex, multidimensional problem to be solved through creativity, adaptation, and collective intelligence. Energy redirection technologies turned potential weapon impacts into sources of additional defensive capabilities. Experimental quantum communication systems allowed for instantaneous information sharing across global defensive networks. Each moment of potential vulnerability became an opportunity for technological breakthrough. Research facilities around the world worked in real time, developing and deploying new defensive technologies faster than the Concordance could adapt. What would have taken traditional civilizations decades of development occurred within hours of first contact. The most remarkable aspect was the human capacity for collective problem-solving. Military personnel worked alongside scientists, engineers, and even artists to develop innovative defensive strategies. Every human became a potential contributor to the planetary defense. As the conflict progressed, it became clear that this was more than a military engagement. It was a fundamental clash of civilizational approaches. The Concordance relied on established invasion protocols. Humanity transformed the entire concept of conflict into an opportunity for understanding and growth. Orbital sensors captured something unprecedented. The human defensive systems were not just resisting the invasion. They were actively learning from it. Each alien technology encountered was instantly analyzed, with adaptation prototypes emerging in real time. Commander Velix realized the fundamental mistake in the Concordance's approach. They had not come to conquer a primitive civilization. They had inadvertently initiated first contact with a species that would fundamentally transform galactic understanding of technological and social potential. The Proxima engagement was more than a turning point in a potential conflict. It was a moment that would reshape understanding of civilizational potential across the galaxy. Humanity had done more than defend itself. It had demonstrated a new approach to existential challenges, one of collective creativity, adaptive intelligence, and unbounded potential. The diplomatic vessel of the Concordance approached Earth's orbital perimeter with a mixture of trepidation and historical protocol. Diplomatic teams had been dispatched thousands of times across galactic civilizations, each mission following carefully established first contact procedures. This encounter would be unlike any in recorded history. The delegation consisted of 7 senior representatives, each chosen for their extensive experience in planetary negotiations. Their biological modifications and neural augmentations represented centuries of diplomatic evolution. They carried with them negotiation protocols that had successfully managed interactions with over 200 different civilizations. Initial communication channels revealed the first signs of the challenge ahead. Human diplomatic teams did not conform to any standard first-contact communication model. Instead of formal hierarchical structures, they presented a collaborative network of representatives from diverse backgrounds. Scientists worked alongside cultural experts. Legal specialists collaborated with communication strategists. Each team member brought a unique perspective to the negotiation. The Concordance's primary negotiation strategy relied on a combination of technological superiority and psychological intimidation. They expected to present their terms, demonstrate overwhelming force, and secure compliance. Humanity's response shattered every existing diplomatic model. The initial transmission from Earth was neither a threat nor a surrender. It was an invitation to mutual understanding. Research data, technological insights, and cultural information were shared with an openness that completely confounded the Concordance diplomatic team. Where they expected defensiveness, they encountered curiosity. Dr. Lydia Martinez led the human diplomatic team. Her background in xenolinguistics, quantum physics, and cultural anthropology made her an unexpected choice for lead negotiator. She approached the potential conflict not as a confrontation, but as an opportunity for mutual understanding. The negotiation platform itself became a revolutionary concept. Instead of a traditional meeting space, the discussions occurred through a quantum communication network that allowed for simultaneous, multi-dimensional information exchange. Cultural contexts, scientific insights, and potential collaboration scenarios could be explored instantaneously. Concordance diplomatic protocols expected a clear hierarchy of communication. Human teams presented a networked approach where every participant could contribute, analyze, and provide insights. Traditional power structures dissolved in favor of collective intelligence. Cultural translation went far beyond language. The human team provided deep contextual understanding of their civilization's motivations, challenges, and potential. They didn't just present information, they invited genuine mutual understanding. The most shocking element was humanity's approach to potential conflict resolution. Instead of demanding reparations or presenting aggressive counterterms, they proposed a framework of mutual exploration and technological exchange. The invasion attempt was viewed not as an act of aggression, but as a misunderstood first contact scenario. Technological sharing became a primary negotiation strategy. Preliminary research on concordance technologies was presented alongside human innovations. Each shared insight became an opportunity for mutual growth. The humans transformed a potential conflict into a collaborative research opportunity. Psychological analysis revealed something unprecedented. The human diplomatic approach was not about winning or losing, but about finding a mutually beneficial path forward. Traditional power dynamics dissolved in favor of collaborative potential. The Concordance delegation found themselves in an entirely unexpected position. Their usual intimidation tactics became irrelevant. The humans did not respond with fear or aggression. They responded with an unprecedented level of openness, creativity, and genuine curiosity. Legal frameworks for potential cooperation emerged in real time. Instead of traditional treaties, the humans proposed adaptive agreements that could evolve with changing circumstances. Each clause became an opportunity for continued mutual understanding. As negotiations progressed, it became clear that this was more than a diplomatic encounter. It was a fundamental reimagining of interstellar interaction. The humans were not just defending themselves. They were inviting the Concordance to view conflict as an opportunity for collective growth. The final terms defied every existing diplomatic protocol. Complete withdrawal of Concordance forces, comprehensive technology exchange agreements, and an open invitation for continued cultural and scientific collaboration. What should have been a moment of galactic conquest had transformed into an unprecedented opportunity for mutual understanding. Commander Velix realized the fundamental transformation that had occurred. They had not come to conquer a civilization. They had discovered a species that would fundamentally reshape galactic understanding of potential first contact. The negotiation was more than a diplomatic resolution. It was a moment that would be studied across civilizations for generations to come, a testament to the power of collective intelligence, creative problem-solving, and genuine mutual understanding. Humanity had done more than survive an invasion. They had demonstrated a new approach to interstellar interaction, one of openness, creativity, and unbounded potential. The aftermath of the Conquerors encounter transformed galactic understanding in ways no civilization could have predicted. Research centers across multiple star systems began studying the unprecedented first contact scenario, seeking to understand the remarkable species that had fundamentally reshaped interstellar interaction. Historical archives struggle to categorize the human encounter. Traditional classification systems became inadequate. Humans were not a typical developing civilization, nor were they a simple technological anomaly. They represented something entirely new, a dynamic, adaptive species that viewed challenges as opportunities for collective growth. Scientific research teams from dozens of advanced civilizations began comprehensive studies of human potential. What made them unique was not just their technological capability, but their approach to existence itself. Creativity, adaptability, and collective intelligence emerged as defining characteristics that set humanity apart from every known galactic civilization. The technological exchanges initiated during the diplomatic resolution began to reshape scientific understanding across multiple domains. Human approach to problem-solving introduced concepts that challenged fundamental assumptions about technological development, social organization, and interspecies interaction. Quantum communication networks became the primary method of sharing the human encounter. Research teams discovered that the more they studied humanity, the more complex and remarkable the species became. Each layer of investigation revealed new depths of potential, new approaches to challenges that had long been considered insurmountable. Cultural anthropologists found themselves captivated by human social structures. Unlike most advanced civilizations that developed rigid social hierarchies, humans maintained a remarkable balance between individual creativity and collective purpose. Their ability to mobilize collective intelligence while celebrating individual diversity became a subject of extensive study. Technological innovation centers across the galaxy began incorporating human-inspired adaptive design principles. The concept of technology as a living, evolving system, rather than a static set of tools, revolutionized multiple scientific disciplines. Research and development approaches transformed from linear progression to dynamic, adaptive models. Military strategists from various civilizations studied the human defensive approach with intense interest. The concept of defense had been completely reimagined. It was no longer about overwhelming force, but about adaptive intelligence, collaborative problem-solving, and the ability to transform potential threats into opportunities for understanding. Educational systems across multiple civilizations began integrating human-inspired learning approaches. The emphasis on interdisciplinary thinking, collaborative problem-solving, and adaptive learning challenged traditional educational models. Creativity became as important as technical knowledge. The economic implications were equally profound. Human economic models suggested a fundamentally different approach to resource allocation and technological development. Collaborative innovation replaced competitive accumulation as the primary driver of progress. Diplomatic protocols underwent massive transformation. The human approach to first contact, one of openness, curiosity, and mutual understanding, became a new standard for interstellar interaction. The old models of conquest and subjugation became increasingly obsolete. Philosophical debates emerged across multiple civilizations. What made humanity unique? Was it their technological capability? Their social structures? Their approach to challenges? Researchers discovered that it was the combination of these factors, a holistic approach to existence that defied traditional categorization. Environmental adaptation studies revealed another remarkable human characteristic. Unlike most civilizations that sought to control their environment, Humans demonstrated an unprecedented ability to coexist, adapt, and collaborate with their planetary ecosystem. Their approach to planetary management became a model for sustainable development. The Concordance, once a feared interstellar power, underwent its own transformation. The encounter with humanity challenged fundamental assumptions about technological and social development. Their centuries-old approach to planetary interactions became a subject of internal review and radical reconsideration. Research teams continued to discover new layers of human potential. Their ability to find creative solutions to complex challenges seemed almost limitless. Each new investigation revealed additional depths of adaptability, creativity, and collective intelligence. As decades passed, humanity became more than just another galactic civilization. They became a symbol of potential, a testament to the power of collective creativity, adaptability, and genuine curiosity. The encounter that began as a potential invasion had transformed into the most significant first contact scenario in galactic history. The legacy was not about technological superiority or military might. It was about a fundamentally different approach to existence, one that viewed challenges as opportunities, differences as strengths, and the unknown as an invitation to explore and understand. Humanity had done more than survive an invasion. They had demonstrated a new approach to civilization itself, one of unbounded potential, collective intelligence, and genuine curiosity about the universe. The galaxy would never be the same.